Okay, so right now we're going to be looking at 8.5, which is fraction lines on a number line. Fractions on a number line. And guys, fraction on a number line, it looks identical to a regular number line, except they're fractions. So if one's first, guess what's going to come second? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The only difference is they have a denominator with it. So we're not working to get to 10. We're constantly working to trying to find a whole. And we know a whole equals 1. So we're looking between 0 and 1, the fractions in between it. Okay? So it says Billy's family is traveling from his house to his grandma's house. They stop at the gas station when they stop at the gas station when they are 1/4 and 3/4 of the way there. How can you represent those distances on a number line? Well, you can use the number line to show fractions. The length from one whole number to the next whole number represents one whole. The line can be divided into any number or equal parts or lengths. So this is represented in fourths. Okay, we're trying to get to 1. 1 is grandma's house, which is 4 out of 4, because we know 4 out of 4 is a whole, and that's going to equal 1. This could be 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10, 200 million over 200 million. No matter what it is, if the top number, the numerator, and the denominator are the same, it equals 1. And that's represented also right here. So we know our starting point. You always start at 0. Okay? 0. When they get here, they're 1/4 of the way there. 1/4. When they get here, they are 2/4 of the way. When they're here, they are 3/4 of the way. So when they finally reach their destination, it's 4 out of 4. And look, it's simple. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if our denominator was 10, they'd be a little bit smaller, and because we'd have to fit more of them in here, right? The more we got to fit in, hint, hint, the smaller the fraction. So you could look at 1/4 and think, all right, it takes 4 pieces to get to 1. Let's say we had 1/10. Instead of using 4 pieces to complete the puzzle, we're going to have to use 10 pieces. And it's not going to make this line any bigger. It's going to make this piece smaller. And that's going to teach you about fraction size. That's what we're going to get into later on in the lessons. But think, here's a block that's 1/4. Here's a block that's 1/4. Here's a block that's 1/4. And here's a block that's 1/4. And we know that each of these blocks is going to make it all the way to grandma's house. 1/4 right here, 2/4 right here, 3 out of 4 right here, and 4 out of 4 right here. We can't say it's right here because we got to finish the whole entire block. So all these steps we just did, I talked about right here. It says use colored pencils. I'm going to do different colors. It says use colored pencil. Actually, we're going to use regular colors. So what fraction names the whole part? Well, we know we have 6 pieces now. So look how small the 6 pieces are, about the same size line to the 4 pieces. The 4 pieces are a lot bigger. Even though 6 is a bigger number, in fractions, the bigger the number, the smaller the piece. Think about it like this. Let's say you have a puzzle that has 10 pieces to put together. The puzzle is not going to be very big, and it's going to take a lot less pieces. Let's say you have a puzzle that has 100 pieces. They're going to be real small. So the bigger the number is now in fractions, the smaller the piece is going to be. So we're looking at 6. We know we're starting at 0, 6, and we know 6, 6 is going to give us 1 because 6/6 equals 1. So right here we have, we go through 1/6, 1/6, 2/6, 3/6, 4/6, 5/6 to 1. Real simple. It says shade the fraction strips to show the location of the point. So the point's right here. We have to shade them in. So I'm shading in 1 block, 2 block, 3 block, 4 out of 6, 5. It ends at 5. We cannot say 6 out of 6 because 6 out of 6 ends right here. So there are blank out of blank equal length shaded. We know we've shaded 5 out of 6 total, and that names 5/6. So 5/6 names the point. Okay? 5/6 names the point. Next one, it says share or complete the number line and draw a point to show 2/3. Well, we know 0 starts at 0. So 0 out of how many pieces do we have? 1, 2, 3. 3. We're driving all the way across 1. We finish 1/3. We drive all the way across another one, which gives us 2/3. And we drive all the way across the last one, which gives us 3/3 or equal to 1. And it wants us to put a point on 2 out of 3. So let me find 2 out of 3. 0 out of 3, 1 out of 3, 2 out of 3. Draw a point on that line. Just like that. Give you a second to copy that. All right. Now it says, write the fraction that names the point. Well, let's find point A. We're dealing with eighths. Look how small these pieces are. A lot smaller than the thirds. So we know this is 0/8, and we know this is 8/8 because 8/8 equals 1. So we just have to count, guys. So 1/8, 2/8. Point A is at 3/8. Let's keep counting. 4/8, 5/8. Point B is at 6/8. And point C is going to be at 7/8. Simple as that. Just like counting, but you just add the numerator. Counting like you would in kindergarten. This one says on your own. It says use the fraction strips to help you complete the number line. Well, draw a point for the fraction. So it wants us to find 2/6. So I know I have 0/6, 1/6, 2/6, 3/6, 4/6, 5/6, and 6 out of 6, which equals 1. And let me use my fraction square to help draw this. There's 2 pieces, 3 pieces, and they're not exactly equal, but I'm getting as close as I can. I hope you try too. And each of these stand for 1/6. And it wants us to draw a point at 2/6. So I'm going to drive past 1, then drive it to the end of 2, and put our line right there. And it matches pretty much up with our fraction. Okay. We would be using a fraction strip in class, or we have these blocks that we could build it with. Since you're not here, of course, it's going to be a little bit harder to do that. But I will model these in class and show you the blocks and show you the different size pieces and what it means so we can make these lines. The next one, it wants us to find 2/3. Well, I know I have 0 out of 3, which makes 0, 1/3, 2/3, and 3/3, which equals 1. Let me draw my fraction blocks. See, these are a little bit bigger. And this is 1/3, and this is 1/3. Drawing a point at 2/3 is going to be about right here. Give you a chance to keep both of them. All right. Next one. write the fraction that names the point. Well, let's get our fractions in here. We're dealing with fourths. 0/4, we have 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, and 4/4, which equals 1. Point C is going to be at 1/4. Point D is going to be at 2/4. And point E is going to be at 3/4. And that's that. Simple as that. Next one. There is a walking trail at the park. 4 laps around the trail is the distance of 1 mile. How many laps does it take to walk 3/4 of a mile? So 4 laps is 1 mile. So we know 4 out of 4 is going to equal 1. Okay. How many laps does she take to how many laps does it take to walk 3/4 of a mile? Well, she's only going to walk actually 3 laps. She's walking 3 out of the 4 laps. So 3 out of 4 makes 3 laps. She walks 3/4 of a mile, so it's 3 laps. A recipe for pasta makes enough for 8 servings. How many servings can be made by using 4/8 of each ingredient to make the recipe? Okay, so the recipe of pasta makes enough for 8 servings. How many? So you got to use all 8 to make 8 servings. But if you use 4 out of 8 servings, you can only make 4 servings. Okay, focus on the numerator there. Ready? So, get all it down. We're going to go to unlock the problem. It says Javia ran 8 laps around a track to run a total of 1 mile Monday. How many laps will she need to run on Tuesday to run 3/8 of a mile? So what do we need to find? We need to find how many laps. It's always the last sentence. How many laps will she need to run to run 3/8? How many laps will she need to run 3/8? So how will you use what you know about the number lines to help you solve the problem? Well, draw a number line and divide it into 8 pieces because that's our bottom number. Okay, 8 pieces into 8ths. So we will draw a line and divide into 8ths. Give you a second to copy this down. So we got to make this into 8ths. Now, I know none of us can get this equally across, but let's try to do our best. We know we have to start at 0. So 0 out of 8, which gives us 0. And we know we got to finish at 1, which is going to be 8 out of 8. So we got to make it equal 0 to 8 through here. So I'm just going to count regularly. 0, 1 lap, 2 laps, 3 laps, 4 laps, 5 laps, 6 laps, 7 laps. That last lap was a little bit big, so I'm going to go back and redo that. 1 lap, 2 lap, 3 lap, 4 lap, 5, 6, 7. That's a little bit better. And we know this is going to be 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, 7/8, and we already put 8/8 there. I always like to give our starting and our end point so we know we don't go over or do too much. And we know that if we had these blocks in between, it would make 8 full blocks. That would make us 1. So we know that there are 8 laps in the 1 mile. It even tells us 8 laps to make 1 mile. We know that each lap represents 1/8. So this is a lap, this is a lap, this is a lap. Okay. Blank laps represents the distance. So if she ran 3/8 of a mile, she ran 3 laps. That represents 3/8 of a mile. So Javea will need to run 3 laps, or 3/8 represents the distance of 3/8 of a mile. So Javia needs to run 3 laps to run 3/8. She needs to run 6 laps to run 6/8. Give you a second to copy that down. I know there was a lot on this page, so let me kind of zoom it out a little bit for you to copy it. Pause it here if you need to pause it to copy, because in a second I'm going to zoom it back in. So pause here. And if you've paused, I'm going to zoom back in. And this one says locate point F on the number line on the number line to represent the fraction 2/4. So we know we're doing fourths. So this is 0, so it's definitely going to be 0/4. And this is 1, so it's going to be 4/4. 4 to 4. We know that equals 1. We have our start point and our end point. So we have 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, and we know 4/4. If this doesn't run into together, let's say you put 4 here, guess what? You're wrong because you're going over a hole. Okay? So you have to redo it. We got to locate 2/4, so it's right here. I'm going to put the mark right here and label it F because it says draw point F. All right. This is your practice homework. You guys definitely should be able to handle this. Explain how showing fractions with different models and number lines are like and different. Simple. You guys can see, we can see the different sizes. We can see how much equals a whole. Comma, and they're different sizes. So we can see how much equals a whole. We can see 1/10, how many pieces it's going to take. That's the same with all of them. The 10th pieces are smaller than the 3rd pieces because it's going to take more pieces to make a whole, right? But they're all put together the same way, and we can see how they're different sizes. So pause that right there. And I am going to check this, guys. If you guys do not have this on there, I'm just going to make you redo the whole lesson. Some of you guys are just doing the practice homework and not doing the lesson, and it shows. So make sure I hope you guys watch this. Lesson check will be on Schoology. Other than that, you guys stay safe.